I've been thinking about this for a while, and I mulled it over and said maybe one day I will put this on Facebook. It's so many people on Facebook talking about so many things until I didn't want to be just another person on Facebook talking about something. But I do have a great concern about what is happening in our world today. And we hear people talking about somebody got shot last night, or this happened, or that happened. The world is getting worse. Kids are going crazy. The parents are going crazy. We just hear all kinds of things, and then we hear very few solutions. And I begin to think, what if we were a solution-oriented society? What if we thought about solutions rather than to think about problems? If we spent half the time thinking about solutions and acting on what we think about solutions and what we think could help, would we have a different world? Because we thought about the solution as to what is happening in our society, rather than to say, it's bad, they did this and they did that, and the politician said this, and the pastor said this, and this happened and that happened. But we're not solution oriented anymore. We're a busy society. We're running and we're doing and we're going and we're involved and we are carrying out and we're taken care of and we're taken care of, but still there are these problems that exist. So I said, well, why don't we think about first place is, how did we get to where we are today? How did we get into this kind of situation? What did we do to get where we are now? Something had to happen to get where we are. I was talking to a group of kids about a month ago, and I said, tell me your mom's name. And they told me. I said, tell me your dad's name. They told me. Tell me your grandparents' name. And some of them were able to tell me. And I said, tell me your great-grandparents' name. No one in the audience could say their grandparents' names, because as far back as they could go was their grandmother. So I began to just think about this. They don't know their great-grandmother. They don't know their great-great-grandmother. They don't know where they came from. They don't know who their relatives are, other than the folks that just live in their community or go to church with them, or that group of people. They don't know who they are. And I began to think about Aunt Mahalia. Aunt Mahalia was my mother's aunt. And I remember the night that Aunt Mahalia died. That was my mother's aunt, not my aunt. It was my mother's aunt. And Aunt Mahalia died. And in the community, it was a close-knit community where very few people lived in that community that didn't know each other, didn't know something about each other. So the night Aunt Mahalia died, the word got around, and you could literally hear people all over the community just wailing and crying and wailing and crying because Aunt Mahalia had died. And the word got around. We went to school the next day. We were sad because Aunt Mahalia had died. It was someone in our community that had died, that we cared about, and that we loved, and everybody around us loved them, and they wanted the best thing for the community. So when Aunt Mahalia died, it was a peace lost out of the community. Why was it a peace lost out of the community? Aunt Mahalia, number one, was a wisdom in the community. Aunt Mahalia, you could go to her house and she had a garden, she cooked, and she played with the little children, and she talked, and when she talked, we sat around the floor, and she was talking to mom and daddy, but we sat on the floor, and we were playing maybe with our little toy or whatever, but we were listening to what Aunt Mahalia had to say. So as this happened over the years, with Aunt Mahalia, with Uncle Clinton, with Aunt Sally, with different ones, we passed down the information that we had. And over the years, we still pass down that information about the Lawrences and the people in our community, because we knew them. We did not want any harm to come to them. We didn't want any harm to come to their children. We didn't want anything to happen to anybody in their families. We wouldn't think about picking up a gun or even a rock and throwing it at a cousin, because we loved our cousins. They were our cousins. We loved our schoolmates. We loved the idea of school. We loved the idea of the community. We loved the idea of going to church. We loved the idea of having these people in our lives. Somewhere along the line, we have lost it. And we must get back to where we were. We must instill in our children, this is your grandmother. This is your great-grandmother. These are your cousins. These are your friends. These are my friends' children. We must instill love and care and community in them while they are 2, 3, 4, and 5 years old. Not wait until they're 15 and 16 trying to say, you ought to go see your old aunt, she's about to die. You need to go see your granddaddy. Do it now. Take time on Sunday afternoons. Take time on a Saturday afternoon. Take a little time out of your life and not just do a family vacation or a family reunion. Take the time for the children that are around you to know the people that live in their community. Know them as their friends. Love them so much until they would not hurt them. Love them so much that they would do whatever it takes to keep them safe and to keep them where they're supposed to be. And then we wouldn't be worried about who's going to pick up a gun, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, because we would have planted something in our children that is going to last. We have to do this. This is the thing that's happening in our community. This is what's going wrong, is that we have lost and do not know each other anymore like we used to know each other. If we heard that a cousin was sick, we heard that something was going on, it was no miles that we wouldn't go. When we have something in our local community that's called camp meeting, it takes place in Lucedale, Mississippi, where I'm from. It takes place every fourth Saturday, every fourth weekend in October. Usually I go the fourth Saturday and Sunday, or maybe the fourth Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I go because I am going to get acquainted with my 500 or 600 cousins again. We have a picnic, we have food on the ground, there's church, there's that getting acquainted with those people and making sure my children are plugged into those people and that they know them and that they know who they are and that they love them and that they want no harm to come to them. We must think about this in our communities today. We don't want harm to come to what we love. We must broaden our vision, our place of those that we love, not to just be that immediate family in our house. You gotta get it out of there. Get it into the cousins, into the friends, into the community. Teach your children how to love the other little children. Don't allow them to fight with the other little children. Teach them how to share. Teach them how to get along. Tell them how to act when they go to school. Tell them how to be involved. And tell them it's not always got to run and tell the teacher. Tell them to be a problem solver by being a person that would love their friends and love their neighbors and love those around them. But it starts with us as parents. It starts with us right now as a parent, instilling in the child what you want the child to become. So if you don't want the child to go to jail when the child is 18, you have to do something when that child is 1. You got to do something right now. If you don't want him to drop out of high school, you got to be putting it in the child at this moment, right now. If you want him to be churched, you must take him to church. If you want him to be in Sunday school, you must take him now. You must be consistent. If you want him to know how to buy groceries, you got to take him to the grocery store. If you want him to know how to drive, you got to get in the car and teach him how to drive and teach him the rules of driving. If you don't want him to play with guns, you got to teach him when he's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, so that he won't play with guns. But we must get back to our duties as parents and grandparents and neighbors and friends, and not just think about and saying, oh, things are getting so bad, they're getting so rough, we don't know what we're going to do. These people who are rough and doing what they're doing, they belong to somebody. It is our civic duty, it is our duty as grandparents, as neighbors and friends, to make sure that the proper information is instilled in these children while they are young. We must do it now. If you plant a seed when he's 1, I was looking at a 1-year-old who can articulate my name. He can articulate what I'm saying. He knows what I'm talking about. So if he knows at this age, at 1, what is being talked about, what is being said, put information in him now. Put that information there. Put information. Now, the other thing is that we must sacrifice ourselves for the sake of others. We must sacrifice. If we birth children, we must sacrifice our time to take care of those children. They are ours. We must reconcile with ourselves. This is my baby. I got him. He's going to be mine forever. I have to do what it takes to take care of him until he's an adult and able to take care of himself. So whatever sacrifice and whatever I have to give up of my own to take care of this child, to make sure he's a productive citizen, a Christian, and a person that will not bring harm to others, I must do that as a parent. I must do that. Over the next few weeks, I will be talking a lot on Facebook. Haven't talked that much on Facebook. Haven't tried this before. But I want to try this and talk to our people. We must love our community. We must get away from the foolishness. We must get away from saying we don't know what's happening. Yes, we do. We do know what's happening. Yes, we know what is happening. We know what is going wrong. We know who is responsible, and we must take the responsibility of our neighbors, our own children. We must be responsible for them while they're young. If we plant a turnip seed now, in about 6 weeks, we're going to have greens to eat. If we plant oranges in about 15 years, we're going to have oranges. If you birth a child, in about 20 years, you're going to have an adult. It is up to us, step by step, day by day, moment by moment, to work with that child, to help that child to develop into what he or she is to become. Mothers, fathers, friends, grandmothers, sisters, and brothers, let's get on our job. Not just in Memphis, but let's get on our job everywhere and do something about this problem. Now, I may not come back every day. I'm going to try to come back often and talk about what things that we can do to change our community, things that we can do as parents, things that we can do as elderly, things that we can do to make things better in our community. We can no longer sit by and say, wonder what they are going to do, wonder what somebody is going to do about it. I wish they would just do this or do that. Do it ourselves. Let's do it. Let's make a difference. Let's be the difference maker. Let's be the change agent. Let's be the persons that we would hope that our community would become. Let's be the ones that make it that way. Have a great day, and thank you for allowing me to talk to you today.